Okay, everybody, stop! Santa's been robbed! Okay, continue. After some deep breaths, Santa will be okay, everything will be okay, and this is Santa's story of Christmas. The evil Yeti came out of nowhere, stole all the presents, they were all wrapped up in everything, and oh my gosh, they're all missing. And that's Santa's greatest enemy, apparently, is this Yeti, and in this game. And it's actually a pretty fun Christmas game, actually. So he blames the Yeti, and this basic story is narrated through hand-drawn elements. I thought they were kind of interesting, like pastel. They're sort of basic. The one review I saw said, hey, these are amazing drawings, and I'm like, they're not bad, but I mean, you just see Santa's eyes moving and his mouth is like, so I don't know, they get the job done. Let's just leave it at that. So he has to avoid dangerous obstacles. It's a 3D action Santa action platformer, and there's like penguins, sneaky snowmen, but like from the 2 or 3 levels I played, I didn't really see a lot of enemies, and apparently that's one of this game's biggest criticism. Plus there's the usual holes in the ground like we've seen since the Mario Brothers and, you know, the Atari ages. So Santa can jump and double jump. Santa can't attack anyone, which kind of makes sense. I mean, Santa's not supposed to be a violent man, as far as we know, according to myth and legend. So he has to jump and double jump over these areas and then jump from platform to platform. So you're going to be doing a lot of jumping in this game. I've only played, I think, a third of the game, roughly. The levels are quite long. I'm surprised. The tutorial's fairly long too, and the tutorial reminded me, like, what if I saw Santa in a Spyro the Dragon game or Crash Bandicoot, because it was such a basic level where you could see, like, this is a throwback to games of yesteryear, like 20 years ago. But with that said, like, there are other levels where there's lava and other things, and it looks actually pretty darn good. So, like, it's sort of hit and miss with this game, but that's understandable. It really is a simple game that, like, people of all ages can enjoy, and I was impressed, to be honest. So Santa actually, on that note, Santa looks better than most of the levels. I mean, if all the levels looked the way that Santa was polished and gleaming, and some parts of this game were gleaming, like, this would be, in my opinion, a AAA Christmas game. So there are 3 kinds of gifts that Santa has to pick up. There's red ones, which I think are the basic ones. Then there are blue ones, which are extra special. And then there's the golden ones, which are really special gifts. And they're very hard to get when you don't see many of them. They're the rarest of all of them. So the game's not very hard. Not surprising, because it's aimed for everyone to try and enjoy and play. And the game's very forgiving. It lets you respawn where you've died. You got run over by a penguin, hit by a snowman. I killed a snowman somehow. I have no idea, because, as I said, Santa can't hurt anyone in this game. So maybe the snowman just died because of Santa's warmth and his gusto, I guess. His cheer killed the snowman. Yeah, so if you die and you respawn, you just lose out on points, I noticed at the end level, so it's not a huge loss, but it makes it harder for you to unlock, like, the unlockable characters, which is really what gets you further in this game, and gets you playing this game, I guess, more. I almost unlocked one, but it takes a few levels, and I think you can go back and unlock more that way, so it gives you a little bit of extra gameplay to go back to. I love the cheerful Christmas music, because it's cheerful, but it's not, like, annoyingly cheerful. It's just that right amount, and that's really hard for Christmas music to do, not be too annoying and saccharine. So, and also, like, the longer levels that I was speaking of before, there's a few Christmas tracks, and you're not listening, fortunately, to the same Christmas track. It gets cycled around, so I heard at least 3 or 4, so at least if you're playing on a long level in this game, you're not stuck listening to the same tune like a million times. But yeah, if you play for a bit, I saw like a snowman, a gingerbread man, and maybe a yeti. I didn't recognize the other two characters. I thought there was a female character. The biggest con for me is like Santa has these weird fat physics, and it sounds really weird to say this, but Santa just jumps funny, and he kind of floats a bit when he jumps, so it's like whoop whoop, and he sort of says like this weird ho sound. He's like ho ho ho, like a grunt ho, and I've never heard this in a game before, and it's kind of funny, kind of makes sense at the same time, but yeah, it feels like his jumps are uneven, so you'll jump and you'll like float a bit, kind of like a fatter Mario just jumping in the air. That's the best way I can describe it, and it's like you have to get used to this, and there's a little bit of a curve to get used to his jumping, but as long as you aim while you're in mid-jump, you can usually, even if you're looking like you're gonna overjump, you don't. You can like survive on the ledge of a lot of the circular platforms that you see. Yeah, it's not unbearable. It just takes some getting used to. And you fight against the camera sometimes in this game. Like, of all enemies, actually, now I remember, they're just turtles in a lava level. And I don't know if this is supposed to be like a throwback to Mario Brothers or Bowser or something. But like, they're just walking across the platform. I'm like, why are the tortoises or whatever, why are they here? Anyways, I think with this game is like, children might find all this jumping that's needed for this game too difficult, and then adults will find that there's not really a real payoff or rewards other than unlocking the characters and sort of seeing the story. But it's kind of cool. You kind of want to know what is going to happen in Santa and what's going to happen, you know. And I heard the final boss is interesting too. I have no idea what it is, but now I'm curious. Now I want to kind of see the end of this game, just to see, like, is it a giant evil reindeer? Like, what is it? Yeah, there's very few enemies, and the enemies that are there, they're on like this certain walk path, and like you gotta make a jumping mistake. Like, I jumped over a fence in this game and suddenly realized, oh crap, I'm too close to the penguin, and it just bowled me over. I mean, it was just like a silly mistake, jumping mistake I made, and like, as I said, this game's not punishing, so it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't a big deal, at least on the easiest difficulty. But yeah, they follow fixed walking patterns, they're not very dynamic, and to me the levels feel very long and linear. Like, they're not straight paths. Like, you do jump around different platforms, but it just feels like these are very long levels, and like they kind of feel padded, unfortunately, but they're still kind of cool. You want to see what the next level is going to be about, so I'll give it that. But with all this said, even though it's not the most polished game, it's $11.49. I feel like, you know, this is the best holiday game I can think of. Easily a 9 out of 10. It costs $11.49, which I think is fair, because it's like a really niche game. Like, this is the type of game that you probably aren't going to buy like leading up to Christmas. So, you know, kudos to the developer for making this. I think I got it for $7 or $8, which is pretty decent. Give it a go. There's not many games where you get to play as Santa in 3D, and this one's actually really polished for a Christmas game, so I'd say go for it. I'd give it, yeah, for sure a 9 out of 10. So keep on hoeing. Ho ho ho. Keep on getting. Bye.